All right, guys, we're back with installment 2 of Pooley's Picks here with Steve Keller, who we brought back by popular demand. A lot of people interested in seeing what Steve has to say, and really just interested in seeing Steve on camera. So this week we're going with the best backcourts. We're going Maine to Washington, D.C., and we're taking out all the big prep schools. We have included the Friends Maple Leagues that have a maximum of 2 prep school players. Everybody else, though, is fair game. So, Steve, welcome back, buddy.
It's my pleasure.
It's great to have you here. It's great to have you here. So, we obviously went through the list. People that are watching this have seen the entire list, and you got some guys that you just feel they got snubbed this year.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say they necessarily got snubbed, but once you go down to the D.C. Catholic League, everybody's packed down there. You don't have DeMatha on the list. They got guards coming out everywhere. They got Ryan Allen, who's the senior and the leader. He's been a 3-year starter. He's going to Delaware. He's a great get for Delaware. They've got a sophomore, an up-and-coming sophomore who played as a freshman last year, Justin Moore. He's going to be a high major guard. He'll be recruited by high majors all over the country. And then off the bench, they got a kid, Ray Ritter, who led the JV last year, and now as a sophomore is going to come off the bench and start to turn heads. So I like the DeMatha group.
Yeah, I agree with you on the DeMatha group. At some point, you can't have a list with all WCAC teams on there. So we kind of broke the line there. Definitely could have been on the list though. Good group.
Which is good. And then I'm going to go, just because I have to, I'm going to go back to the WCAC with Bishop McNamara, because they have Jameer Moultrie, who I love, who's a good get for LaSalle. Yeah. Again, another 3-year starter. He's just tough as nails, physical. He's going to be hard to handle at the high school level. And they have a kid, Jonathan McGriff, who's a junior, who I probably think, of all the kids that you've got on your list and I got on my list, Jonathan McGriff is the quickest.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a ball handler too.
So, yeah,
and we did most productive last week. Jameer Moultrie, in terms of productivity,
yeah.
Maybe not, one of those high major recruits, but he's going to be one of the most productive guards maybe in the country this year with scoring the ball and finding teammates.
And now I'll go out of the box and go back down to D.C. and go
right
back down to D.C. again, but now I'm going to the little-known public league. And H.D. Woodson has a kid, Keon Boyd, 6'5" junior, 6'5" combo guard. Of all the kids we've listed, he's the most athletic of everybody we've named. He is a monster. His problem is the trainers are always worried that he's going to cut his head on the rim when he plays, and that's a concern they have. And then they also have a relatively unknown kid who is going to be a star and who's going to get a lot of mid-division 1 recruitment. A little quick kid, 5'7", Darquan Washington. And between him and Boyd, they're just going to raise havoc up and down the court.
Well, and that's why we have you here. I've never even seen the kid Washington play,
yeah,
so that's why we get Steve on the show.
Now I'll come north. This probably wasn't a stub with you, but I'll go to New York City because one of my favorite guards up there is Jose Alvarado going to Georgia Tech. And he is obviously going to be fine at Georgia Tech. He's another 3-4-year starter coming out of that New York City Catholic League. He's talented, he's skilled, and he's a real competitor. He wins basketball games. And they're going to start, probably with him, a freshman, Ryan Myers. And Ryan Myers is going to be one of the better guards in New York City in a couple of years. So they're going to have some age and some youth, but I just had to bring them in because they're a good New York Catholic League backcourt. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then now I'm going to go into our own backyard and name a couple teams that I think we could have mentioned and all that right from under your seat practically. And I'm going to talk about Bergen Catholic. Bergen Catholic's got our 2 boys, Gabe Stefanini and Taj Benning. Seniors, experienced, they compete. Gabe's going to Columbia, Taj is going to Fairfield, and those 2 seniors, that's the best backcourt in Bergen County by far. And those 2 seniors are going to do a hell of a job, and they are going to be the engine that drives that team as far as they go. And
well coached,
go deep.
Well coached by a guard, that played for McKillop at Davidson,
Yeah,
Billy
yeah,
Armstrong, and
yeah.
it's a good group up there for sure.
Yeah, and those two. And then I guess the last one I'm thinking about is I'm going to go right back to North Jersey and mention the two kids from St. Anthony with Hurley. And obviously, probably the best point guard this year in the state, R.J. Cole, going to Howard. Surprised a lot of people going there, but it's strong academics. He's going to go down there and be one of the best guards that Howard has ever had. RJ is just continued to get better every year. He's talented. He's just a real good floor general. And then they have the sophomore who I'm real high on, Xander Rice, the son of King Rice at Monmouth. King was a McDonald's All-American, and Xander is going to be built out of the same mold.
Wow.
So they have two guards that are really going to go, and with the best jockey in the world behind them, they're going to raise havoc.
They got some
run
depth.
That team.
They have some depth there as well, and Xander is probably somebody that people don't know a lot about yet, but they're going to find out pretty soon. Kid can really play.
So your list was good. It was outstanding. These were just a few guys that I think could have at least been in the also rans.
All right. Well, Steve, as always, I appreciate you coming down. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you next week for another installment of Pooley's Picks.